Hello and welcome to Module 4 of this General Psychology course, covering gender and sexuality. Gender and sexuality are a fundamental aspect of being human. In the field of psychology, gender is defined as the biologically and socially influenced characteristics by which members of a culture define male and female. Men and women share 45 of 46 chromosomes in common. In most ways, we are alike. Gender does not predict level of intelligence or learning style, for example. However, there are some significant differences between the genders in many areas. Compared with the average man, the average woman hits puberty 2 years earlier, and her lifespan is 5 years longer. On average, women carry 70% more fat, have 40% less muscle, and are 5 inches shorter. Generally speaking, women can be re-aroused immediately after orgasm, whereas males cannot. Women are also doubly vulnerable to anxiety and depressive mood symptoms. Women are also 10 times more likely to develop an eating disorder than men. However, men are about 4 times more likely to commit suicide or develop an eating disorder than men. Men are also more likely to be diagnosed with autism, colorblindness, or ADHD as a child, and antisocial personality disorder as an adult. One important distinction between men and women that has been observed in various studies is the amount of physical violence that is engaged in. There is also a significant difference in violent crimes committed by men and women. The male to female arrest ratio for murder is 9-to-1 in both the US and in Canada. Gender differences appear in youth. Boys typically form larger groups. Their games tend to be active and competitive, with little intimate discussion. Girls usually play in smaller groups, often with one friend. Their play is less competitive, and they tend to act out or role-play social relationships. Gender differences also continue with age. In their teen years, girls spend more time with friends and on social networking internet sites, and less time alone. As adults, men enjoy doing activities side by side, and they tend to talk with others to communicate solutions. Also, in one survey of American adults, women were 5 times more likely than men to claim primary responsibility for, quote, for taking care of your children. During the 4th and 5th prenatal months, sex hormones bathe the fetal brain and influence its wiring. Different patterns for males and females develop under the male's greater testosterone and the female's ovarian hormones. In adulthood, male and female brains differ in some areas. Part of the parietal cortex, a key area of space perception, is thicker in men. Parts of the frontal lobes, an area involved in verbal fluency, for example, are thicker in women. In combination with environment, sex-related genes and physiology result in behavioral and cognitive differences between males and females. Some individuals are transgendered, meaning that their gender identity feels mismatched with their biological sex. A person may feel like a man in a woman's body, or a woman in a man's body. Some may express their feelings by dressing as a person of the other biological sex typically would. Although sex hormones help explain many of the observed general differences between men and women, cultural norms and roles play an important part as well. The next video will cover this topic.